Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominick, creator of businessmiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 1, Vision, where you will learn how to activate the highly sensitive entrepreneur strength of the ability to be visionary, to create what you desire for yourself in your business and your life. So there's lots of talk in the coaching industry about your 1 year and 5 year vision. And I always had a lot of difficulty with this, especially when I first started my coaching business. I would be asked that question, and my answer was pretty much pay my rent. And then one time I heard Oprah say, if you just say that you want to pay your rent and that's all you're going to get is enough to pay your rent. And I thought, oh gosh, there must be something wrong with me. Why can't I come up with this vision? Or I would create a vision and it just didn't really feel very connected to it. And so then therefore I just never really saw anything manifest in the vision and came to the conclusion that this visioning stuff doesn't really work. Well, of course, neither of those are true. There's nothing wrong with me, and there is power in visioning. And there's nothing wrong with you either. And there is also power in your visioning. What I've come to understand is that I need to approach a lot about my business in a different way because I'm highly sensitive. And because I'm highly sensitive, I'm actually coded for visioning. It's just my dominant way of visioning is feeling. As most highly sensitives, I'm highly intuitive. So when I allow myself to begin from this place, my vision is wide and my vision is deep. Now here's the thing. If you've been attracted to this series, most likely you too are highly sensitive. So let's just take a moment and look at what that means. The best way of looking at what being highly sensitive means is to start by looking at what it does not mean. And I want you to write this down. So it does not mean that you're weird. It does not mean that there's anything wrong with you. It does not mean that you are incapable of creating success. It does not mean that you are incapable of handling what's required to be successfully self-employed. It does not mean that you are not capable of being worldly when it comes to income generation or other money-oriented aspects of business. It does not even mean that you're necessarily shy, and it does not even mean that you're necessarily introverted. So what does it mean? Well, let's start by taking a quick assessment created by Dr. Elaine Aron, founder of the Highly Sensitive Person Research. So just take a moment to just mark true or false. Other people's moods affect me. True or false? I seem to be aware of subtleties in my environment. True or false? I have a rich, complex inner life. True or false? I get rattled when I have a lot to do in a short amount of time. True or false? I am annoyed when people try to get me to do too many things at once. True? False. I try hard to avoid making mistakes or forgetting things. True? False. I make it a high priority to arrange my life to avoid upsetting or overwhelming situations. True or false? Now just take a minute and just make a note of how many of those 7 statements did you mark as true. If you marked more than 3 as true, then most likely you are highly sensitive. More importantly, I highly recommend that you take the full, what I refer to as highly sensitive entrepreneur quiz, and you can take the HSE quiz at my main website, businessmiracles.com. And when you take that quiz, you will be shown whether you are somewhat highly sensitive or super highly sensitive or super uber highly sensitive. And if you're super uber, that means that you're like me. Or maybe not highly sensitive at all. It's one thing to understand that you're highly sensitive, and it's another thing to understand that you're a highly sensitive entrepreneur. As a highly sensitive entrepreneur, or what I refer to as an HSE, you are coded to see your success. And you're coded to see the success of your clients. You are what Dr. Elaine Aron refers to as a royal advisor. And I want you to write that down. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, Dr. Elaine Aron says, for aggressive societies to survive, they always need that priest, judge, advisor class as well. This class balances the kings and warriors, just as the U.S. Supreme Court balances the president and his armed forces. It is a more thoughtful group, often acting to check the impulses of the warrior kings. Since the advisor class often proves right, its members are respected as counselors, historians, teachers, scholars, coaches, healers, creatives, and the upholders of justice. They have the foresight, for example, to look out for the well-being of those common folks on whom the society depends. Highly sensitives tend to fill that advisor role. We are the writers, historians, philosophers, judges, artists, researchers, theologians, therapists, coaches, teachers, parents, and plain conscientious citizens. What we bring to any of these roles is a tendency to think about all the possible effects of an idea. Often we have to make ourselves unpopular by stopping the majority from rushing ahead. Thus, to perform our role well, we have to feel very good about ourselves. And I want you to write that down. She also goes on to say, we have to ignore all the messages from the warriors that we are not as good as they are. And I want you to write that down too. We have to ignore all the messages from the warriors that we are not as good as they are. The warriors have their bold style, she says, which has its value, but we too have our style and our own important contribution to make. So, you were brought here to fulfill your vision. You were brought here to be a successful coach, healer, or creative entrepreneur. If you see your business success, you are meant to have your business success. Even if at this point your business is just a spark, it's just an idea, or whether your business success at this point is now about the next place that you're meant to grow your business to. So again, if you see your business success, you are meant to have your business success. Now it's just about the step-by-step to get there. So you might be asking, okay, that's great, Heather, fabulous. Why don't I have what I see? Well, according to A Course in Miracles, the ego analyzes, the Holy Spirit accepts. And I want you to write that down. The ego analyzes, the Holy Spirit accepts. The Course also goes on to say that the ego attacks everything it perceives by breaking it into small, disconnected parts. So that's a direct way to destroy your vision, right? So what might that look like in our day-to-day business lives? Well, we feel a calling. We feel an urge. We feel a pull to support people, to help other people through our coaching practice or our healing practice or our creative entrepreneurial endeavors. Somewhere deep within our soul, we know that's why we're here. You know that's why you're here. The Course says if you feel that you're here to do something great, that's because you are. But then the ego comes in and says, yeah, that's really fabulous. You have this vision to be a successful coach. Yeah, that's great. So where are all the clients? Yeah, so you're going to be a successful acupuncturist or Reiki practitioner? Yeah, you could never make as much money as you could as a lawyer. Oh, so you might be creative, the ego says. Yeah, you're talented. But don't you know the story of the starving artist? And those are just some examples of how the ego attacks everything it perceives by breaking it into small, disconnected parts. It literally will take apart your vision. It will destroy your vision bit by bit by bit. The Course also says that the ego will always substitute chaos for meaning. So your vision, your purpose, that thing within you which you know you are here to create, to be, to live, that is meaning. That is truth. And the ego will look for ways to create chaos out of that vision. That is the ego's job. That's the ego's role. Now, the Course also says that the ego makes no attempt to understand this. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not, right? The ego only makes attempts to demonstrate it, to demonstrate the chaos, and to demonstrate the chaos consistently. Now, for those of us who are highly sensitive, this will often show up in what I refer to as the HSE shadow, the HSE shadow tendencies. And what are some of those shadows? Well, those are things like overwhelm. Those are things like confusion. Those are things like being overly empathetic, so feeling too much, being overflooded or overwhelmed by feelings because we can pick up on those feelings of others. And the ego will look for that, will look for ways for the highly sensitive to be in the shadow, to be in chaos, and will look for that to be demonstrated consistently and constantly. The Course also goes on to say, do not underestimate the appeal of the ego's demonstration to those who would listen. The ego chooses witnesses carefully and consistently. So you know those people in your life who are telling you that you can't be successful in business, or who are telling you that you're crazy to think that you could be successful as a coach, as a healing practitioner, or as a creative. Those people, you know, in our lives who thrive on fear, who thrive on scarcity, who thrive on lack. Well, according to the Course, as I just shared, the ego seeks those people out. The ego appeals to those who would listen, looking for ways to demonstrate consistently and constantly chaos. Oh, brother, gosh, do we have any chance at all? Of course we do. So what do we do instead? Well, the Course also says, what you believe, you do see. And I want you to write that down. What you believe, you do see. That is the power of the Holy Spirit. That is the power of the expanded mind. The ego mind will say, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe I can be successful as a coach, healing practitioner, or creative as soon as I have this many number of clients, as soon as I have this number of dollars in my bank account. And you know what the ego will say to that? Perhaps you've experienced this yourself. The moment you have that number of clients or you have that number of dollars, the ego will immediately come in and say, oh yeah, wait, but that's not enough. Oh no, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean 10 clients. I meant 20 clients. Yep. I didn't mean $50,000. I meant $500,000. Yeah, that's when I'll know. That's when I'll really be able to believe it. And whatever goal the ego sets, it will never measure up when met. And I want you to write that down. Again, the Course says, what you believe, you do see. So what is our way to this? Well, number one, you begin to claim your HSE strengths, your ability to be intuitive, to be empathic, to be a deep thinker, a deep feeler, a deep listener, your ability to learn without even realizing that you have learned. All the things that equip you to be that royal advisor that Dr. Elaine Aron speaks about. Number two, choose your witnesses carefully. Again, you have been brought to the series on purpose. These are your people. These are your witnesses. These are the people who will say, yes, you can, rather than give you all the reasons of why you can't. Number three, create your beliefs based on internal vision. Because in the process of manifestation, the physical is always the last to appear. So what you believe, you do see. Create your beliefs based on your internal vision, what your inner guidance, what your higher self, what your soul knows to be true, the visions that it's giving to you in your heart, in your dreams. That is truth with a capital T. Your assignment, your Business Miracles assignment. Take the HSE quiz if you have not already. Share your results. Expect business miracles. And share your miracle manifestations. Allow yourself to see and allow yourself to be seen. Recap before we wrap. As an HSE, you are coded for vision. Your success and your client's success. You are a royal advisor. You are meant to be a successful coach, healer, creative entrepreneur. The ego analyzes. The Holy Spirit accepts. Choose your witnesses carefully. Do your assignment. Awesome.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.